Hi, I'm Ken Kessler, and welcome to Psychic Tapestry. Tony is not here today, but she will be back next time. This is just kind of like a bonus episode. And I wanted to do something special because my wife, Lisa Kessler, who has been on Psychic Tapestry many times, she's a paranormal romance author and a very gifted tarot and oracle card reader. She's starting something new that's pretty darn special, and I wanted to bring her on to talk about it and how you could be involved in it if you choose. This is a pre-recorded show, so I'm not giving out the phone number because you can't call in today. But when Tony is back next time, you'll be able to call in and we'll be able to do things like normal. So I guess this makes this abnormal. And that's quite an intro. So hi, Lisa. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me on the Abnormal Psychic Tapestry.
Yeah, a special abnormal episode. So
Yes.
you have just recently launched a new website, metaphysicalmanifesting.net. I have
Yeah.
many questions. I guess to start with, what is it?
Well, it is a new website where you can still get readings from me. I'm still doing those, but I have started helping people manifest their dreams and make them real. And I'm very passionate about it. The first step was the Metaphysical Manifestation Mentorship, and that's already going. I still have 2 spots left open, but otherwise very full. And you can find out more on the website about that. But, and I also I can do a Zoom to answer questions and things like that if you have more questions. But basically, I have been for, I don't know, probably the past 5 years, been doing these year ahead readings, is what I call them. And I only do them in December and January. And typically I pull 12 cards, one for each month of the year, and then a mantra for the whole year. And people come back every year. Every year it sells out. And every year when they come back, they say, I wish I had stuck with it, or I forgot to do the mantra, or, things like that. And earlier in 2022, Ken asked me if I was going to do some bigger program that was like long term for metaphysical things, what would it be? And I was thinking about it, and I told him, if I had time, it would be that I would like to mentor people so that they can continue what we started with the year ahead reading and actually have support and follow through and manifest amazing things. But at that point I had like 4 books due, so it wasn't going to happen right then. But recently all sorts of things started falling into place, and the universe is very loud, and all my cards were telling me to do this new thing. And so I did a bunch of research to figure out how I would do it online and make that happen. And when I finally announced it, my first client signed on in an hour. So I was like, okay, apparently this is a good thing. And then I've had a client who manifested, she was an editor, and she manifested an editing client within hours of our first meeting. It was like, oh my gosh. And we're talking for, thousands of dollars. So that was amazing. And then I had another client who we had our first meeting, and we were very excited. I always give you lots of homework and things, that you can do, baby steps toward this thing. And she wanted to grow her business. And she emailed me a week later and said, my business is already growing. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I'm super pumped because it's really inspiring for me to see the universe work for you. So that's been really cool. And then the next level that I want is to make a women's group, like a kind of like a psychic circle, but it's a little bit more toward manifesting. And I'm calling it the Manifesting Magic Mastermind. And there's going to be video lessons and once a week get togethers so we can really pump out the magic. And we can actually help you manifest because we all see each person already having their thing. And that's so much energy to send out to the universe. I feel like we're going to take the secret and the law of attraction and then like supercharge it. So I do have that on the website and people can apply for that. That one you need to apply because it's a group and I need the energy to be just right. So anyway, so that is also an option. And now I've talked a long time. So
and there's a lot to unpack there. Did you say that this is somehow my fault that I led you down this?
well, you planted the seed earlier this year because you were thinking about building things on Psychic Tapestry, and you were asking me if I was going to do something more long term besides just a reading, what would it be? And so, yeah, apparently my brain percolated on that for most of the year.
Um, I I will take no credit for this. I'm happy to have nudged you in that direction if that's the most that I will accept any kind of credit for. But you mentioned a couple of your clients and success things that happened very quickly, and I feel like this is one of those infomercials where there needs to be some sort of disclaimer, and I'm not exactly even sure how to say it because it's not that these results are unusual or atypical or anything like that, but I don't want people to get the idea that they sign up to work with you and boom, they're making thousands of dollars and their business
Yeah,
is booming, and because there's work that you have to do, right?
Exactly. Yeah. There's no, it's no wave a magic wand. I wish it was that simple, but it's not wave a magic wand. You have to be willing to do the work. But when I do these mentorship appointments, I feel like they have a leg up just because before the appointment, I meditate on their behalf and I ask, what do they need to know? And I get a lot of automatic writing channeled readings for them before their meeting. Sometimes it's an archangel, sometimes it's a guide, sometimes it's an ancestor. But basically, some clear messages from spirit before we meet. And then when we meet, we go over those. We go over, what was last month like? What are we looking ahead for this month? And I give everybody, I basically just help them break down the steps into tiny bite-sized pieces that they can do in a month so that you can mark things off your list and feel amazing. And when you do that, it raises your vibration so that you can see that you actually can achieve it. And when you send all that energy out to the universe is like, yeah, and it gives you all these things. So it's not me doing it. I don't have a magic wand to make that happen. But if you do the work, it's almost like you can't help but succeed. I think about Mike Dooley. If you guys have never read Mike Dooley and, Mastering the Universe and The Matrix, and he's written a whole bunch of books, but he's fantastic. And he is always talking about thoughts become things. And I think when you have somebody in your corner who's helping you stay focused on those thoughts, the universe wants to support you. And so, there aren't any guarantees, of course, but I feel like you have a big leg up when you've got someone in your corner who's also thinking and manifesting and putting out that energy for you.
Now, Tony and I have talked about manifesting several times on Psychic Tapestry, and a lot of people have come to know of manifesting because of The Secret when that came out 15, 20 years ago, and it was the big hot thing. I think Oprah was talking about it and everything. And the idea, that people have of a bulletin board or a vision board with a picture of the house they want or the significant other, love, or whatever it is that they want on there, and that somehow that's it. And there's a lot more to manifesting than just putting a picture on a bulletin board.
Yes. Yes. Because the whole thing about manifesting is the doing. So basically, you don't worry about how you're going to get it, but you have to keep the energy, the momentum moving in that direction, because that energy is what the universe reads. So like if you do watch The Secret or read it, there's a lot of, if all you think about is I'm in debt and where are all these bills coming from, the universe says, ooh, they think about bills a lot, so they send you more. So it's kind of in that vein of that, wherever you're putting your most energy, that's what the universe is going to give you. It doesn't see it as good or bad. So if you do a lot of work in this direction toward this thing, the universe goes, oh, this is what they want. So that's where manifesting, and the reason people struggle with manifesting is that it doesn't always happen today, because divine timing is at work, and I am super impatient, so I hate it when it's like, oh, divine timing, you just have to wait. But the reality is the universe has to line up all these things to make it land just right for you. And so a lot of people give up before the universe gets their thing. And the problem is when you give up, all that energy just sags out. And so the universe goes, I guess they don't want this car. Okay. So by having a manifestation mentorship, you're going to have an appointment with me once a month, and we're going to talk about this stuff. And so you have a reason to not lose hope. You can keep going, and we'll get these things done. And my intention isn't that you always need this mentor forever. Hopefully you're going to learn tools through working together that then you can manifest anything. You don't even need me. But I think so far for the clients who have already started, it has been a really positive experience so far. Just having somebody in your corner makes manifesting not so frustrating and not so lonely. So that's kind of where I am.
I know that for Psychic Tapestry, most of the calls that we get when people want the short readings that we do, most of the calls that we get are either are about one of two things. They're about jobs or they're about love. Are those the big, I hate to say it like this, but really are those the big ticket items for manifesting?
For my clients so far, jobs and money outweigh love, but love is there for at least one so far. And you can manifest that. However, usually I'll always have people focus on what's the relationship going to look like. Because too often people are like, I want them to be this tall, and I want them to play this instrument, and I want them to wear a blue shirt, and and that kind of stuff makes it almost impossible for the universe to, geez, it could take 50 years for them to find just that right person. So I usually focus on the relationship that you want to have, and, what do you guys want to do together, and what kind of support do you want from them? Do you want someone who, has a certain level of job? Do they already own a home? Do you want, and because then you can plug in, the universe can find the person who does those things, as opposed to, I want this exact person, if that makes sense. So yeah, but love is definitely something that we can work on manifesting.
And just as with a job or with money, there's work involved in manifesting love, manifesting a relationship. And I guess a lot of people probably don't think about that.
Right. Yeah, because you have to manifest self-love first because the universe can feel that, and then you're ready to turn that outward and look for somebody who, here's my relationship, this is what I want, and then the universe can bring that to you. If you are looking for somebody, if you feel like a broken teacup and you're looking for somebody who is going to be glue, that's never going to be a healthy relationship. So that's not really something that you would manifest. You would manifest somebody who's looking for somebody broken because they're broken. So anyway, you have to manifest self-love first and love all those parts of yourself so that you don't feel like a broken teacup anymore, and then you're ready to attract the person that you deserve, somebody good.
Well, and I think one of the other things, and I don't want it to come out like I'm bashing The Secret, because I'm not, but I think there's a lot about it that's misunderstood, that people get the idea that to manifest love, that they're trying to manifest love from one particular individual, one specific person,
Right.
whether it's a past
Right.
love or it's somebody at work, um, but it's one specific person, or as far as a job goes, it's one specific job that they're trying to manifest. And I think that putting your energy into something like that is really just fighting a losing battle, isn't it?
Yes, yes. And to go back to Mike Dooley, he always says to don't worry about the hows. So he'll tell you about love. He'll say, that don't worry about whether he's Pedro, Hector, or George. Um, you worry about that he likes the same music you do and that he enjoys eating Mexican food like you do, and don't worry about what his name is or where, or what he looks like or all that kind of thing, because we all have free will, and when you set your intention on one thing, like this one job or this one person, the problem is that everyone has free will, and the universe isn't gonna chuck somebody else's free will so that you can get what you want to manifest. So that's why it's really important that you don't worry about the how. You worry about the joy you're going to feel, and you worry about, how this relationship is going to manifest in your life and what that will feel like, as opposed to that it's the guy who lives across the street from me. Um, because
Yeah.
you don't know, he could be trying to manifest that he never wants a relationship again. He just wants a good dog. And so then you waste all of your manifesting energy because his free will has nothing to do with you. So, you know,
Yeah, I part of I remember watching The Secret. I don't know if it was a I don't remember if it was a TV special, if it was a movie or something else, but I remember watching it, and one of the things that really stuck with me was this one particular guy on there who wanted a specific car, and he had a picture of the car on his bulletin board at his on his desk, and he saw it every day, and then it was in his driveway, uh, at the end of the story or
mm-hmm.
whatever. And I think a lot of people take that away, and take that particular instance away, in the idea that they're going to manifest that one specific thing. And a lot of times it's it's about love, and it's about one specific person, possibly somebody that they had been in a relationship before that didn't work, and they want that person back. And it can be just so exhausting for them to be trying to put all this energy into manifesting this one thing, one specific, so specific person, and and wind up missing out on life, everything.
Yeah, they you really can't manifest a person just because they have free will too. And you don't get to say this person is going to fall in love with me. I'm going to put all my energy into it. I'm going to win them over, because Yeah, they have free will too. And, maybe they have decided that they have a long distance relationship with someone that they love who's on the other side of the country, and that's what their heart is manifested on. So you don't get to take away their free will. That's why you have to manifest, how those feelings, and then, wait for the person to come. But the thing with the car too is that often people are like, okay, I put up the exact car that I want on my wall and I look at it every day. But it takes a little bit more than that to
Yeah.
actually manifest that car, because you got to break it down into teeny tiny steps and keep telling the universe that's what you want every single day. And and then you'll notice things start to happen. Like you got this raise that's almost the car payment, and then you paid off a credit card. Now that is the car payment. Oh my God. And then something amazing happens that you weren't expecting, maybe a tax return, and you're like, here's the down payment. Oh my gosh. That's how the manifesting goes. It's not just that you have a picture hanging up and then you go, ta-da, I have the car. It's really, it takes a little more energy pumping out into the universe. So you need to do things toward that goal for the universe to go, oh, and and give that to you.
I think that a lot of times with manifesting or just talking about manifesting, that people get the idea that it is a little bit like Santa Claus, that they want X and okay, universe, let me have that specific thing. I want I want this one particular person. I want this one specific job. I want, whatever it is. I want that little red Corvette and I want it in my driveway. Or perhaps I want a driveway also and a house and the specific one. And abracadabra, it's supposed to be there. And then when it's not, they get disillusioned and manifesting doesn't work. And I had that picture of the house and I had that picture of the Corvette and I looked at it but they didn't do anything, you know?
Well, and here's another reason that I think having a mentor for your manifesting is super helpful is I keep a notebook of all of our meetings, and it's really easy for me because it's not, I meet with them once a month and I'm not living it. But when you're living it, you can start to get really discouraged because you feel like there's no momentum and nothing's happening. But I can go through my book and go, but look, you got this and you got this, and and remind people of the little tiny steps that are in the right direction so that you can be enthusiastic again, because you can see that it's working, the energy is working in that direction. Because when we're so close to it and we live it every day, it can be that you feel like, well, shoot, the car's never going to be in my driveway. And yet I can tell you, well, you got that raise, and didn't you pay off that other thing, and how close are we? And then suddenly you're like, oh, I only need $1,000 more for the down payment. I'm super close. And that energy, that's what makes the universe manifest things, because that excitement, being excited, joyful, grateful, all of those things are huge amounts of energy that go out, and the universe like, oh, so anyway, I think that that's another way that if you're not doing it alone, when you do start to get bummed, you can you can have somebody who goes, no, look, you did this and this and this, and you could go, oh yeah, I totally forgot, and know that you're getting closer.
I know from experience it makes a big difference when you feel like you have somebody on your team. So that's really important. You had mentioned that you have a couple spots still open as of the recording of this near the end of August, 2022. So depending on when anybody's listening. Um, can you sort of walk me through what happens in these one-on-ones? I mean, I know everyone is not the same, so it will depend on lots of different things. But if I were to apply and do this? How would it work?
Well, the application that you fill out basically tells me all your goals, what you're hoping to achieve, what you want long term, what you want short term, all that kind of thing, and any concerns you have, stuff like that. And then I take it from there. And when we meet the first time, I will have already meditated and asked the universe what you need to know right now. And then for our first meeting, I do a year ahead reading. So we pull a card for each month. And the whole point of that is so that you have something to focus on each month. Each month you open it up and you say, oh, my card is about gratitude. So this month I'm going to really focus on being grateful. You also get a mantra for the year that you do mirror work where you read it to yourself in front of the mirror. They're all in first person. So it's like, I have this and that. And so anyway, they're very healing, and that's a once a week project. And then we talk about their goals that they had filled out on the application, and we make a plan. And basically I'm really good at keeping things positive and very good at keeping track of things. I'm a really good little manifester. So I keep track of all those things. After the meeting, I email them all the pictures of the cards and of the automatic writing that I did for them. I also put in the email all of their homework, all the little things they're going to do. And then about a week later, I email to be sure that homework's happening. And here's the link to set the appointment for next month. And how's it going? So you definitely have somebody in your corner starting immediately once we decide that we're working together. And I'm on your team 100% and we get things done. So far anyway, knock on wood, people are doing amazing. And that's very inspiring to me.
Okay, I have to ask. You mentioned that when for someone to do this, they fill out an application instead of just clicking on a PayPal button saying, I want to do this. What's involved in the application, or I guess, and why would somebody need to apply?
Well, it's not anything super fancy. It's a Google form that you fill out. Basically, the reason for it is that I need to know that I'm going to be able to help you. So if you fill out the application and it looks like things that I'm probably not going to be a big help, I certainly don't want to take your money and not be able to help you. So basically, it's so that I can see ways that I can help you. And also, in there are different kinds of payment options, and I need to know which thing you would like to do. And usually after I get the application, I'll send you a little Zoom link so that we can meet for a couple minutes and talk about what you want to do, and then we'll get you signed up and off we go.
See, I think
But that's why for the application.
and I think that kind of thing is really important. I know that a lot of psychic shops will have psychic fairs every so often, once a season, once a month, depending on the place. I've been part of those. And it's not just about saving people money, it's that you get to try on psychics to see who's a good fit for you. I mean, you do the same thing with a doctor or a dentist. You want somebody who's a good fit, and it's no different with metaphysical people. So I feel like this is just part of that kind of process.
Yeah, definitely. When we meet on Zoom, if you don't get a good vibe or I don't get a good vibe, then we don't want to be meeting up once a month. So
Yeah.
So again, I want everyone to be happy. I don't want to take your money if you're not going to be happy. So the application and the meeting is just so we can see if it's a good fit. And if it's not, that's okay. You can be a good fit with somebody else. So that's basically what it's for.
Okay. If you want to find out more about this, the website is metaphysicalmanifesting.net. I'll put a link up on the Psychic Tapestry social media so you can find it right away if you didn't get to jot that down. Is there anything about the mentorship that I have missed that you want to mention?
I don't think so.
Okay. The other thing that you have that's coming up that um, that I guess people need to sign up for soon before that gets filled up is your Manifesting Magic Mastermind. What is that, and
Yes.
how's that different from the mentorship?
So the mentorship is one-on-one, and we meet once a month. Whereas Manifesting Magic Mastermind is going to be in my head. I'm hoping that we will get about 10 women together, and basically I'm making all these right now of all these different modalities and things so that you'll learn a lot doing it, but we'll also meet up over Zoom once a week. So it's a lot more intense than the one-on-ones. But once a week, we're going to get together and we will do Q&A about, the different modality we were working on that week. Everyone's going to report. We're going to know what everyone's trying to manifest. We're going to meditate and see each person having the thing that they want to manifest. And we're going to use some of the different modalities that we've been learning about. And it goes for 12 weeks. So there's 12 group meetings, and there is power in having a group of people who all want something good for you. And so that's why I'm calling it magic, because we are going to make all kinds of magic. So and so anyway, yes, I do need, if you are interested in that, you need, because there's only 10 spots. I don't want it to be too big, or the group meetings will be too long. So, if I get 12 who are amazing, I'm sure I'll do 12, but but for now I'm thinking 10. And yeah, so reserve your space soon. It also has an application, of course, because again, need to know if it's going to be a good fit. I don't want you to be stuck in a circle for 12 weeks that you dread. I want it to be super positive. So there is an application to fill out, and we will meet over Zoom really quick so I can be sure it's going to be a good fit. And then we start January 2nd. So anyway, yeah, if you are interested in making 2023 your super best year ever, you want to get a spot in that magic circle.
And one other big thing that I know,
Mastermind.
one of the big
It's a
things,
mastermind.
uh, it's the Manifesting Magic Mastermind. There. One of the big thing that I know that you have coming up is, and I'm not sure how much you can talk about it because it hasn't started yet, is the Kickstarter you have for Practical Tarot.
Yes. So Practical Tarot is 20 years in the making, more. But basically, way back when I got my first tarot deck, I got the Rider Waite deck because everybody said that's the beginner deck. That's the one you have to get. And I could not connect with that deck no matter what I tried. And there were 78 cards. I was never going to get the book memorized. And it was all angry men staring at me. And it was not a good experience. But I still loved tarot cards and I wanted to connect with them. So I kept buying more and more decks. And then I was in a psychic circle a few years later. And that was when we started practicing with tarot decks. I had so many tarot decks that I would take them out and compare the cards. And I started to realize that there's a cycle. No matter what deck, there's a cycle, and the elements and the different symbolism, and it's on every card in every deck. And so anyway, suddenly it was like a light switch went off, and I can pretty much read on any deck. And it made tarot so much more intuitive for me because I wasn't running to look at a book. And I started teaching tarot, I don't know, 5 years ago, and I called it practical tarot because you're not memorizing. And once you get that connection, it can be a part of your everyday life. It can be a practical tool that you use every day. It doesn't have to be a full moon draw. You could use them every day. So I started teaching practical tarot. And then during the pandemic, I got in a writers group and I was teaching practical tarot to writers, and they're all using it for writing books. And so then I made another class of tarot for writers. But that group of women were like, you need to write this book. You need to write practical tarot. And I had talked to my agent about it at the time, and she didn't usually do nonfiction, but she was willing to try for me. But in the end, it didn't work out. And so I still have this half finished tarot book. And I had told Ken, if I'm going to do this book, I really need a deck so that I can put the pictures in the book, but I can't draw. And meanwhile, I'm publishing books. And this year, a bunch of my friends were doing Kickstarters, and I started to think, I could kickstart the deck if I had an artist who could make the cards the way I want them. And I reached out to my cover artist for my books, and she said, oh, that's kind of out of my wheelhouse, but I know an illustrator who's amazing. And she got me in touch with Holly Carton, who is amazing. Oh my gosh, these cards she's making are gorgeous. And she was very game. She doesn't know anything about tarot, but I give her all of the symbolism I want on the card, what the card means, all that kind of thing. And so far, she is knocking it out of the park. They're so beautiful. And I promise you will be able to read. You will get messages when you flip over these cards. So I'm super excited. So we're scheduled October 1st for the Kickstarter to get going. And so I hope everyone will back it. If you go to the metaphysicalmanifesting.net website, right on the front it says subscribe to the newsletter. Please subscribe, because once that Kickstarter goes live, I will be putting it in that newsletter. Please go back it, follow it, tell your friends. But again, there will be a limited number in the Kickstarter. So should people be excited about it, you want to get your deck, be a backer early so that you get a deck. But yeah, I'm super excited about that. And I'm also making the Practical Tarot course virtual. So Ken's helping me with that right now. So those videos will be up very soon, and you can take Practical Tarot class whenever you want in your jammies, in your living room.
And I don't want it to sound like I just brought Lisa on because she's doing a whole lot of stuff that you have to pay for, because you're also doing a lot of stuff that is free. You mentioned your newsletter, which will have manifesting tips and a weekly tarot reading in it. But you also have a free weekly tarot reading on your YouTube channel.
I do. Yes. Anybody can go to youtube.com/LDY Disney is my YouTube channel. And I do a free weekly tarot reading every week. And and that's totally free. And if you subscribe, you will never miss a reading. And yes, I do put manifesting tips in the newsletter, and those are all free. So hop in there. And I'm trying really hard to keep the manifesting newsletter short but uplifting. I want it to be a little dose of sunshine when you see it in your email and you go, oh my gosh, and you open it. So it's not going to be anything heavy. It's going to be, light and short. But when the Kickstarter starts, all the information will definitely be in there. So be sure you subscribe.
And can we talk about the group on Facebook?
Yes, I do have a free Facebook group called the Metaphysical Meetup. Anyone can join. And I do Facebook Lives in there at least once a week, but I'm trying to shoot for twice a week. But so far, so far it's been once a week, but hopefully I will ramp up to twice a week. And we talk about all things metaphysical in there. And you guys can make requests as well. But so far, we've done manifesting tips. We've done deep dives on the judgment card and the night cards in tarot. And there was one other thing too, and now I can't think of it. Oh, well, it will come back to me. And shoot, I really can't think of it. Anyway, there were four. Um, but I'm going to be doing one later this week, and I haven't yet decided what the topic will be, and I do keep the videos for a while in the group. I also post them on the blog on metaphysicalmanifesting.net, so you can check it out there too if you're not on Facebook. I think you can subscribe to the blog also so that you won't miss any posts there. So I do have lots of free content. You don't have to feel like you have to pay to play. I give a lot of free content as well.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons I wanted to have you on to talk about this, because the Psychic Tapestry podcast is free to listen to. And most of the time, unlike this, as I said at the beginning, abnormal episode, unlike this one, usually we're live and we take calls and we do free mini readings, in addition to talking about some sort of metaphysical topic. And that's always free. And I knew that you did all this other stuff that was free too, that's built into your new website. And I wanted to offer it up because everybody who listens may not be able to pay for stuff. And I totally get that. I have been there. I may be there right now, but I don't want to say. I could be there again. I know how that goes, and I get that. So I did want to highlight that Lisa has a lot of this stuff that you can be a part of and take advantage of for free. You can find out everything we've been talking about and probably more about it, and you can subscribe to her free newsletter at metaphysicalmanifesting.net. And again, I'll pop that website link up on our social media, on Psychic Tapestry's social media, on Facebook and Twitter, if you didn't get a chance to write that down. Lisa, is there anything in all of this that we forgot to talk about or that I missed?
I don't think so. I still do tarot readings, and that's also on the website if you would like to schedule one of those. Definitely check out the blog. It's called Let's Get Metaphysical. My ode to Olivia Newton-John. So check that out for lots of free content as well.
And I'll just mention that when you go to Lisa's website, on the home page, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you can see where if you have more questions or think of something that you'd like to know that she didn't answer in there, there is a button you can click on to set up a free Zoom Q&A with her and get your questions answered. So do that too. But I guess that's it. It's very cool, and I'm very excited for you and for everybody who wants to be part of this. I know one of the people who is already part of your mentorship. You call it a program, a class?
Yeah, the mentorship, I guess, program. I don't know.
I don't know.
When we meet multiple times, does that get a program?
Yeah, I know somebody who is doing that, who has already had experienced some great success, and I think it's very it's so important to be able to have somebody on your side and helping sort of guide you to take some of these steps. So I think what you're doing is very important, very cool, and I hope that this information reaches the people who could benefit from it, and would be good to work with. So thank you for spending some time today and doing this special if abnormal, episode of Psychic Tapestry.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. And anyone who's listening who comes by the website, hello. And nothing happens. Nothing's a coincidence. So
Absolutely. Thanks so much. And thank you for listening and being part of the Psychic Tapestry family. We really appreciate it. Tony is fine, by the way, so don't worry about that. It was just a scheduling thing that she couldn't be here this week, but she and I will be back next time to take your calls. In the meantime, stay safe, have a great week, and remember to tell those important to you that you love them. Take care.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, oh, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.